Today I am going to talk to you about Newton's laws of motion that began the age of modern science. I consider these laws to be the most fundamental, most important laws of physics ever discovered or ever formulated. Newton used to have a feeling for everything. He would use two terms here. One is force, another one is momentum. Let me say a few words about momentum. Suppose somebody wants to hit me. She has or he has a stone. If she throws the stone at me with a smaller velocity, and later on she hits me or throws the stone with higher velocity, when would I get hurt more? Probably will realize that when the speed is higher, hurt is more. Next, if somebody has two stones, one of smaller mass, the other one of bigger mass. First, he hits me, the stone, with smaller velocity or with the smaller mass, and later he throws bigger mass stone at me with the same velocity. Obviously, I will get hurt more when the stone is bigger. Means the impact that the stone causes on me depends on mass and velocity. Mass is measured in kilogram, velocity in meter per second, and hence this product of mass and velocity called momentum is measured in kilogram meter per second. This is a very important quantity. So that tells you how much hurtful or impactful a body is. It depends on its momentum. Now, Newton wanted to define force also with clarity. You know, if you want to move something, displace something, you need to exert a force. Either you will pull it or you will push it. This pull or push is called force. Or if you want to lift something from the ground, you need to exert a force in the upward direction so that you can lift something. Typically, if you take a body of 102 grams, then the force needed to lift the body upwards is called 1 Newton. In practical terms, you can say that if their body is there of 100 grams, if you want to lift it, then you need 1 Newton force. If you want to lift a mass of 1 kilogram, then you need to exert a force in the upward direction of 10 Newton. If you have a child in your lap, you have to exert a force, upward force of, if the child mass is 3 kilogram, then 30 Newton force is required. So please have a feeling for what is Newton force. Now Newton carried one thing more Newton wanted to know. How would you measure a force? He suggested that why don't you take a spring? If you take a spring, as you exert force on the spring, you stretch the spring, you pull the spring, its length increases. And bigger the force you exert on a spring, more the length increases. So Newton suggested that do one thing. Take a mass of 100 gram or 102 gram and connect a spring to it. When you want to lift it, lift the other upper end of the spring. When the spring is stretched upwards to lift the mass, then you need to exert 1 Newton force. And choose such a spring that on 1 Newton force, its length is increased by 1 millimeter. So when next you take a mass of say 400 gram, when you lift it, the spring will rise, length will increase by 4 millimeter. So 4 millimeter is a measure of 4 Newton. So every scale pointer of 1 millimeter on the scale is a measure of 1 Newton force. So this is how you can measure a force. Now this is something very important. that any physical quantity that you are conceptualizing, visualizing, you have a feel for it. Now Newton carried most fundamental experiments. Well, I would use my own language in the name of Newton, that how he performed the experiment. He took a smoke strip. He took two stones, one batch of 1 kilogram mass, another one batch of 2 kilogram mass. On both, he exerted 10 Newton force. Now you can visualize what will happen. Obviously, the smaller stone would move faster, and it moved faster. Newton felt very uncomfortable. Why this difference? I exerted equal force on two bodies. Why did they not move with the same velocity? He was perplexed. He thought about it. So he considered something like this. So there is a body of mass 1 kilogram, 10 Newton force is applied. There is another body of mass 2 kilogram, 10 Newton force is applied. Now let us see what happened. He had a speedometer. So he measured the speed after 1 second. The body of 1 kilogram mass acquired a velocity of 10 meters per second. The body, the stone of 2 kilogram mass acquired a velocity of 5 meters per second. So when you multiply the mass and velocity, you find that the product is 10. Whether it's a small body or bigger body. Then he brought in another third body of 5 kilogram mass. He exerted same 10 Newton force on it. And when the body moved up, after 1 second, he measured the velocity. It was only 2 meters per second. So again, the product of velocity and mass was 10. So he says that doesn't matter whether it's an ant or elephant, whether it's a child or a stone, whatever is their mass, doesn't matter. If you exert the same amount of force on a body, the body's momentum will change in every second by the amount 10. If the force is 10 Newton, if the force is 50 Newton, the momentum will change by 50 Newton. He discovered the fundamental law, and he formulated the law saying that in every second, body's momentum will change equal to the applied force. This is called the second law of motion, and I consider this to be the greatest law ever formulated, ever. Now this has very valuable implications. Number one, that if you don't apply any force on a body, what will happen to it? Obviously its momentum will not change, because change in momentum occurs when force is there. So if the body is sitting idle or moving with the velocity, it will continue to remain idle or continue to move with the same velocity without any change of direction if force is not applied. Conversely, he said that if a body is in equilibrium, suppose body is stationary, it means the net force on this is zero. Because if force were there, it will move, its momentum will change. So a body in equilibrium implies there is no net force on the body. This is called law of inertia or first law of motion. I would like to talk to you now about the third law of motion, called law of action-reaction, about which there is a lot of confusion. But there is one physics element required, and let me explain this. I think let's wait a little. I will do the law of action and reaction in my next video. Thank you very much.